I got fired in the middle of my lecture. Yeah, there was no place to hold the lecture because they had locked down the entire university for this. There was no other place to learn, so I started teaching in this outdoor classroom. It was a bit cold. It was, raining. And my name's John Friedman. I'm a professor in sociocultural anthropology in the Netherlands. They sent out an email to all students, all faculty, that they were closing the university down for 2 weeks, starting the next morning. We showed up because we were all called to these meetings. Every building on campus was locked except one. And that was the room in which we had individual appointments to walk in to get fired and leave. My meeting was scheduled at the end of the day. My colleagues were just going in and out all morning long, and the students were crying and my colleagues were crying. And I just was getting more and more upset and angry, really. And I said, I'm going to give a public lecture in 2 hours. And I stood up there at 3 o'clock and I started lecturing about what was happening and what I was seeing. We often say that anthropologists ask big questions in small places. So my lecture was really about asking very big questions, but using our small university as the case study, the place to explore these big questions. Like, what is the purpose of education? Why are the humanities and human sciences being cut out of curriculum and not other fields of knowledge? And when my time came for my meeting, I explained to everyone, look, I've got to go inside and I have to get a cup of coffee and go get fired, and I'll be back after and I'll finish my lecture.
Well, I go inside, take a rest, have a cup of coffee, and get fired. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to keep doing what I do, which is teach and learn.
And then I went into my meeting with my dean and my boss, and I sat down and I listened to what they had to say. They told us one after the other that unfortunately they're going to reorganize the university, that my discipline of anthropology would be removed from the curriculum, and therefore I was going to be fired. And they did this with about 30% of my colleagues as well, all on one afternoon. And I said, oh my God, I forgot I'm in the middle of a lecture. I got to go. And I jumped up in the middle of this meeting, grabbed my coffee, went out the door and onto this courtyard where everyone was waiting for me. And I jumped back up and I finished my lecture. The next day, I came back and started teaching again. I'm like, okay, I've lost my job, but I'm still an anthropologist and I'm going to come help my students learn. I mean, the students were devastated. They couldn't go to classes anymore. Their professors were all fired. Their subjects were being removed from the curriculum. So it was sort of a traumatic time for everybody. The university remained locked. So I started teaching in this outdoor classroom. It was a bit cold. So I went to the public library with my students and we sat in the public library and we learned together for another 6 weeks or so.
This is my last class ever at UCR. 21 years, this is the last class. I'm sad. It's really bad.
Now that I've lost my job, what will I do next? What's developing for me is a project around trying to bring anthropology out into a more public sphere, really. I just really love to think about things together with other people and explore ideas together, and particularly the ideas that I explore in my field. And I find it just very energizing. And I love the young people's curiosity about the world. I've had a really rich life, I think, with my profession. And I learned so much from my students.